So we do have some more good news on the Medieval Remake front. Bobandbarn, the original composers of the soundtrack to Medieval, tweeted that they are working on the new soundtrack for the 2019 remake. I actually found this out because of the Twitter account Resurrect Fortescue, who does an amazing job of disseminating any medieval news. You should definitely follow them. Now, with some remakes, to find out that the original composers are coming back might not necessarily be a huge news story, but for this game, I think it is. The soundtrack to Medieval is one of the best OSTs of all time, let alone in the PS1 library, and it's such a big part of the tone and the experience of the game. So I think having the original composers work on the new version is a pretty big deal. And it's not only good news in general, but it also indicates a couple of other things that we didn't necessarily know for sure before. Firstly, they are redoing all of the music and not using the original recordings or necessarily the music from Resurrection. So we can officially assume at this point that Medieval 2019 will have basically nothing to do with Resurrection whatsoever, which is something I was worried about to one degree or another until they dropped that Halloween trailer. And now with the soundtrack ruled out, it looks like it's going to be completely 100% divorced from that PSP version of Medieval. Now, I wouldn't really have minded if they used the music from Resurrection. I thought that soundtrack was pretty good and really one of the best parts of the game, but a newer take from the original composers is probably the ideal solution as far as the soundtrack is concerned. So I'm glad to hear that that's what's happening. Another thing that we can logically deduce from this is that they are committed to reuniting many of the original folks that were most pivotal in creating the original game and making it so special. Little by little, we have been learning of more and more people that are involved in the remake, and it's starting to look more and more like the same group of people that were involved in the original. And that's a really good sign that Other Ocean Interactive is really going about this with basically the perfect attitude. My only remaining concern is that Other Ocean Interactive isn't super experienced with bigger games, and most of their catalog seems to be made up of smaller VR and mobile games, which doesn't necessarily mean they aren't up to the challenge. I would just feel a little bit better about it if they had done something like this before. But other than that, I really don't know much about them, so I'm trying to keep my mind open as much as possible. And certainly having the art director from the original game by their side certainly minimizes my concerns quite a bit, so I'm not losing sleep over that. As a die-hard Medieval fanboy and pretty much the exact demographic that Sony is probably going after with this game, I'm really excited about this news, and it seems like this remake is on the right track. I do think it would be nice, however, if we could have the option to maybe switch back and forth between the original PS1 soundtrack and the new tracks in real time, just in case I'm in the mood for it. We've seen way smaller remake projects with that feature, so I'm pretty sure it's doable, and it would be a really nice touch for people like me, although admittedly unnecessary. Well, but that's all I've got for now on the Medieval Remake. Feel free to subscribe and keep your eye on this channel for more updates as they come along. I've been covering this game pretty closely, and I intend to continue to do so. But until then, thanks for watching.